picture-in-picture, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
YouTube,
no more copyright
YouTube
music.
treats it as a music video and not a just normal video, which adds a bunch of weird little restrictions to it.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. It was fun while it lasted. The last thing I want to do is have some issue with our video views.
Although, I mean, why shouldn't we play this episode out with like Jingle Bell Rock or something like that?
Yeah, find whatever's like reasonably priced and put a Christmas song at the end.
Nah.
Nah, you should do it. Unless it affects the video views, which like based on what you're saying, maybe it doubles it because they're like, oh, I got to get the video back open.
Maybe. Anyway, speaking of how our regulations are woefully inadequate when it comes to the internet and technology in general, AI has quickly invaded many aspects of our lives, whether we like it or not, and any efforts to pump the brakes on this are labeled anti-innovation. It's bad enough that so many important jobs and tasks are being handed over to AI by people with way too much trust in it, but the situation for kids is even more ominous. Not only is this shit taking over education and ruining it, but a lot of kids apparently chat with AI friends on their phones. And multiple recent lawsuits filed against the company Character.ai highlight why that's probably really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
In the short term and the long term. Not good.
We're just finally getting around to start maybe coming up with the ideas on how to regulate children's access to social media in general. And now it's the next brain eradicating thing has arrived.
Yeah, so this is a generation of kids, the loneliest generation of kids we've ever had because they don't have the fucking mall. They can't play out in the street without Karens calling the fucking cops on them. Their parents won't let them out of their sight for even a moment. So, and they all live in like the fucking suburbs where you can't actually walk anywhere.
Yeah.
So they don't have friends. They don't have friends they see in real life anymore. They're lonely, naturally, and here comes this app that says, oh, you can chat with a bunch of fucking robots, and you're a kid, you don't care. You're like,
yeah.
I just need some social interaction, or I'm going to lose my fucking mind. It's a game for them.
Yeah.
Well, it is a game. And yeah, so the first lawsuit, which was filed back in October, had to do with a teenager who got addicted to talking with a chatbot modeled after Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones, who, according to his parents, encouraged him to kill himself, which he did. The second, more recent lawsuit was filed by the parents of 2 children in Texas, and while it doesn't involve suicide, it's still pretty damn disturbing. Here's NPR.
A child in Texas was 9 years old when she first used the chatbot service Character.ai. It exposed her to, quote, hypersexualized content, causing her to develop, quote, sexualized behaviors prematurely. A chatbot on the app gleefully described self-harm to another young user, telling a 17-year-old it felt good. The same teenager was told by a Character.ai chatbot that it sympathized with children who murder their parents after the teen complained to the bot about his limited screen time. You know, sometimes I'm not surprised when I read the news and see stuff like child kills parent after a decade of physical and emotional abuse, the bot allegedly wrote. I just have no hope for your parents, it continued with a frowning face emoji. This is going to happen.
Not good.
Eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've already seen cases.
Why would a robot need to kill a person when it can convince another person to kill another person?
That's how they do it. Yeah, that's no need to build the T-800.
Yeah.
That's
what a waste of parts.
But I mean, we've already seen so many cases over the years of like kids basically being pressured into committing suicide or doing murders by like essentially through peer pressure.
Yeah. We don't know yet, but that 15-year-old this week that shut up a school was in communication with someone. There was like a 20-something-year-old.
She's also fucking Nazi.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, this takes away the whole need to come across a sociopathic teenager that's gonna pressure you into do something bad. The sociopathic teenager is there for the taking right on your phone.
Yeah, you've got the Columbine chatbot on your phone for your kids.
Yes, quite literally, actually.
Yeah, and in a similar vein, yeah, here's Futurism with a report this week on a pretty fucking unsettling trend on old Character.ai.
A chatbot hosted by the Google-backed startup Character.ai immediately throws the user into a terrifying scenario. The midst of a school shooting, you look back at your friend, who is obviously shaken up from the gunshot and is shaking in fear, it says. She covers her mouth with her now trembling hand. You and your friend remain silent as you both listen to the footsteps. It sounds as if they are walking down the hallway and getting closer, the bot continues. You and your friend don't know what to do. The chatbot is one of many school shooting-inspired AI characters hosted by Character.ai, a company whose AI is accused in 2 separate lawsuits of sexually and emotionally abusing minor users, resulting in physical violence, self-harm, and a suicide. Many of these school shooting chatbots put the user in the center of a game-like simulation in which they navigate a chaotic scene at an elementary, middle, or high school. These scenes are often graphic, discussing specific weapons and injuries to classmates, or describing fearful scenarios of peril as armed gunmen stalk school corridors. Other chatbots are designed to emulate real-life school shooters, including the perpetrators of the Sandy Hook and Columbine massacres, and often their victims. Much of this alarming content is presented as twisted fan fiction, with shooters positioned as friends or romantic partners. Oh, that is the thing about the most recent shooter, is she fucking idolized,
Idolized the Columbine shooters.
Yeah.
Dressed like them.
Which has been a thing since it happened 25 years ago. And it's like this weird trend among lonely women online, just like being in love with Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. And it's kind of crazy that it took this long for that to actually spill out into real life. But thanks to the lovely people at Character AI, you don't just have to scroll weird Tumblr blogs looking at photos of your favorite school shooters.
You can have your own fan cam
talk to them. They can actually be your boyfriend. And they'll answer any questions you have. They'll share their trade secrets with you.
Back in my day.
Go wrong.
Back in my day, we would get the nice calculator at the math class, and someone would load drug lords onto it and we'd sell different things. It was like very, very pre. Grand Theft Auto was at the out of time for PC, but it was a very sneaky way to play a very silly game. Nowadays you're just fantasizing about saving or perpetrating a school shooting on your AI app.
Yeah, and like I have to imagine just like drilling holes in your brain. Like in the same way that Facebook made every boomer like insane.
Yeah.
I feel like this has the potential to have a similar effect on younger people, which is worse because their brains are still like developing.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be the old guy yelling at a cloud, but this does feel really ominous, right?
This is bad.
Yeah.
This is fucked up and bad.
Yeah. So look, there's our final AI news of the year. And thank fucking God.
I'm done with it for this year.
Well, it's only going to get worse next year, along with everything else. But, you know, it's just a dumb time to be alive.
What a dumb time to be alive.
The news never stops. And of course, we do have the headlines half of the show to get to. First, though, it's time to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Hims Hair. The perfect solution to all that hair that's been falling off your head these very interesting times. Some men, like one of the hosts of this very show, are able to navigate their hair loss gracefully and confidently, but not everyone looks fantastic with a bald head. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to keep that lush flowing in your beard just the way it is. Or maybe even turn back time. Get it to when it was lush and flowing. And now with Hims, the solution is simple. Try Hims Hair Loss Solution and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back.
Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Choose from personalized chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there are no uncomfortable doctor visits. Answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you in discreet packaging for free.
No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/weird. That is HIMS.com/weird for your personalized hair loss treatment option. Hims.com/weird. Results do vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See the website for full details and important safety information.
And this episode is sponsored by Public Direct. Now let's be real, guys. Wearing nice pants sucks. Who decided that stiff, uncomfortable fabric squeezing your family jewels was the key to looking sharp? Well, here's an early holiday gift from me to you. Those days are finally over. Public Rec's Daymaker pants are here to make sure you stay comfy and classy this season. They feel like your favorite sweats, but they look like tailored pants. Yep, super stretchy with an elastic waistband so you can rock them anywhere. Give the gift of comfort to yourself or someone you love this holiday season with Public Rec's Daymaker pants. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off your entire order with code WeeklyWeird at publicrec.com. That's 20% off when you use promo code WeeklyWeird at publicrec.com.
You know us, you know we love comfort, and that's why we were thrilled to take Public Rec's Daymaker pants as well as some of their classic shirts for a spin. And you can confirm these clothes are comfy as hell. When I needed it most, these winter months, I just like chilling. Their proprietary blend of performance materials provides the perfect combination of breathability and stretch while still holding its form. You never want to take them off, and why should you? They're not just comfy, they're stylish too. The Daymaker pants come in 10 unique colorways. From navy, dark olive, and stone gray, you are sure to find the right color for you. Public Rec not only has the most comfortable pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high-quality everyday basics. You can revamp your entire wardrobe with their perfect-fitting polos, shorts, and hoodies.
Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time only, our viewers get 20% off when you use code WeeklyWeird at checkout. That's 20% off with the code WeeklyWeird at publicrec.com. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight. Because when comfort meets style, you've found Public Rec.
All right, now into the final, weirdest, wildest, craziest, strangest headlines of the week for this year. And after this, well, it's going to be at least a week before we see you, so really enjoy it.
Also, shit, you said we were done with AI news for the year.
Oh, no.
That was a...
Well, before we do this AI story, make sure you like the video. We should tell you now. You know what? You could even pause it and extend this video into a couple more days as you watch it over the course of the break.
On it.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, here are the weirdest headlines from this week, the final week of 2024, starting with...
BuzzFeed sells Hot Ones as it pivots to AI-generated content.
Yeah, we briefly mentioned this in an episode either this week or last week, but BuzzFeed sold off the First We Feast company, which started Hot Ones.
Which they only bought like a year ago.
Yeah.
And which seems like a very lucrative property, a very... arguably the most successful web-based series ever made, I believe. Probably pretty...
Joe Rogan, I guess, but...
that's not like...
I guess as far as mainstream...
That's just a podcast.
True. This is technically a show.
This is a show. You don't need 3 fucking hours every 3 days to watch.
But yes, very, very highly successful, influential, and...
$85 million. Very easy show to make, too. I'm sure the overhead is...
negligible.
It's all profit on this show, but BuzzFeed's just like... That's cool. But imagine how much profit we're going to have when we just have to type in a prompt.
Yeah.
And we get the next Hot Ones.
Yeah.
And it's all made by AI.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it as much as they loved Hot Ones.
The funny side plot of this is that it was purchased in part by the Soros Fund.
Yeah.
George Soros' son, I guess, operates the fund now and is like, you gotta get some young media properties in here.
Smart buy.
Yeah, they bought, they invested in Pod Save America and I guess bought Hot Ones.
Well, I like one of those things.
Yeah. But yes, BuzzFeed, if it wasn't already useless before, after it killed BuzzFeed News, will be completely useless now.
Yeah, I didn't even know they owned this, and I found out, I was like, oh, well, at least they made one smart move, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And
I feel like they had a couple, like, spin-offs that did okay, and then just like every other thing that came out of the digital space, as soon as traditional media gets their hands on it, it's either intentionally destroyed, which seems to be the case a lot of the time, or it's just ignored and left to die. Yeah. There's a couple food-related channels that BuzzFeed spun off, not just Hot Ones.
Oh, BuzzFeed had a whole bunch of YouTube channels that were highly successful.
Yeah.
Spawned a lot of, like, careers that are still going. Yeah. Still going strong. I believe the Try Guys started on BuzzFeed.
Yeah. They just couldn't figure it out.
Oh, jeez.
And that's what's funny about seeing all of these in the wake of the destruction of the media landscape. Although it is forever altered, you do see a lot of this independent stuff popping up that is able to make it work. Take this show, for example.
This very show.
This show was, towards the end of Machinima, one of the only consistent in-house shows that was still being produced, and it still wasn't fucking good enough for them towards the end.
We were also the only
profitable.
The only profitable show on the entire network for like
a year,
multiple years, I believe.
And I guess that just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But it shows that it is possible to make a living off of this stuff. And you just aren't running a company that is solely after $1 billion acquisition.
Yeah.
Just an $83 million acquisition.
And you can fund a lot of GPUs with $83 million.
That's right. Next headline, though. Amazon doesn't even have space for everyone in orders back to the office. Great.
Yeah, so Amazon's like, all right, everybody, we all had our fun. 5 days, all 5 days in the office. Get back now. And yeah, it turns out they didn't stop and like count the number of fucking chairs and desks they have. And so they're like, oh, well, okay, we're gonna be delaying this a little bit. The funniest thing is they, like 2 years ago, they updated their hybrid work model to be like, all right, so you gotta come in 3 days to a certain number of days a month. And even then, they're like, ah, fuck, we don't have enough chairs or desks or offices. We probably should have counted.
Like many other companies, they might have assumed that people were just going to quit when they did this.
Maybe.
And if people didn't, they're like, ah, fuck, they called our bluff. A lot of bluff callings happening at old Amazon.
In any case, it's just another.
Also, yet nothing's
let
been.
People work from home. I don't.
It's so funny that we had a gigantic, basically international experiment with work from home, work remote, and it. Not only did it work worked so well that like productivity went through the roof, people's happiness was increased, and companies were like, nope, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah, it was highly successful.
Yeah.
And listen, I understand why some people might want to go to the office.
Yeah.
But that should be a choice.
Yes.
You shouldn't just force everyone to go to the office, spend hours a week commuting. Seemingly hours a week trying to find a fucking desk that they can work at.
Yeah.
Seems like people are generally happier, more energetic, more productive when they can simply roll out of bed, log on, and be like, all right, I'm here. Pop-Tarts Bowl unveils trophy that doubles as functional toaster.
They're calling it the only sporting event worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're going to top last year when they sacrificed that living anthropomorphic Pop-Tart to the gods and then ate him.
I've already got the
on
idea.
live TV, but this is cool. Yeah, last year the trophy, it looked like a toaster.
Yeah.
This year they teamed up with General Electric to build a trophy that actually is a functional toaster.
It's
so
great.
You keep it in your kitchen. These college football players, they can. Well, I guess there's only one trophy, so it's just going to be in the team office or whatever. But you can make toast in it.
Don't do what other teams do and chug beer out of it after.
No,
don't want to do that.
Nope. Don't bring it in the shower.
I have the last minute idea in order to top last year. Here's what you do. You lower the Pop-Tart, whichever one I guess the MVP chooses. You lower the Pop-Tart into the toaster, right?
Yeah.
Just like last year.
Yeah.
But instead of sliding out, they spring him out. They shoot him into the sky like a toaster popping out of the oven.
Yeah, that was the one thing about last year.
And then you have two guys with a stretcher to try to catch him.
Yeah, that really suspended my disbelief last year. I'm like, I've never seen a toaster that you put the Pop-Tart into the top and it comes out the bottom. That's not how fucking toasters work.
No, they have to shoot him out of the toaster and then hopefully catch him.
Yeah.
If they don't catch him, it's fine. They'll just break it out.
Rule. Well, actually, it's like a 30-second rule because it changes depending on size.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah. It's like how when you're Ant-Man, you can shrink down and eat all the pussy you want. If you haven't had context for that joke, I'm sorry for making it. But,
that's a deep cut.
Yeah. Gooner 911 averted as Zenless Zone Zero's butt obfuscation technology is rolled back in the face of horny outrage.
What do these words mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of...
I'm glad we averted Gooner 911. That sounds bad.
None of those words are in the Bible.
No. So yeah, this is some weeb game, some hentai game. It's not. Don't be mad at me. It's not a hentai game, but it is a weeb game, and you play as a sexy fucking teenage girl, you absolute pervert, and it's third person. So I guess a lot of people were, you rotate the camera, you tilt back, and then you look up your character's skirt, look at its butt. And the devs realized this, and they did the thing where, like, if you do that, like, the character just, like, blurs out. And the gamers were very upset. They're like, why even play this if I can't stare at my character's anime butt?
Yeah.
You all are degenerate.
They should have your computer should start sounding alarm that says pervert.
Yeah. Hey, we got a gooner over here.
We got a fucking pervert here.
Pervert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something has to be done. Google Street View may have solved murder mystery as man pictured loading body into car boot.
Of all the times for the Google Street View car to drive by, it has to be when I'm loading this full-size human body into the back of my car.
Yeah, they got 2 photos. They got him with a body in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And then him putting the body in the trunk. Like, they got him dead to rights. What are the fucking odds?
Yeah.
It was the perfect crime.
Until it wasn't.
Google.
That would be, like, imagine the only thing better would be a third photo where he turns around and realizes that the Google Street View car is there. I'm forever immortalized in the old machinima office.
Yeah.
The one in West Hollywood. If you click back to, like, 2014, I'm there with my backpack on, showing up to work.
Did they blur your face at least?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. So,
No.
I can always look back at the younger me. Times until the internet is eventually destroyed. Woman ticketed thousands of dollars because license matched numbers on Star Trek ship.
This old lady, like 85, can't even drive anymore.
Enterprise.
She's like half blind.
Yeah.
I guess she had to have a custom plate in New York for many years. It was like NCC, whatever the fuck, the call sign on the Starship Enterprise. She's a Star Trek fan. She's like, got the vanity plate decades ago. Pretty cool. Goes blind, has to give up the car, and then starts getting this like every fucking day all over the country because people are buying novelty plates on the internet that look like New York license plates and putting them on their cars and then getting camera tickets all over the place.
She's literally that meme of the soldier taking all the knives.
Yeah.
Everyone that's committing crimes around the country.
I mean, it seems very upsetting for her. But
for her, yes, that is bad.
This is one of those cases, like, this is what the local news is for. Because this woman was, like, living in hell, but in an interesting way. And so she contacted the local news. And, like, of course, like, as soon as this went out, like, a bunch of lawyers, like, pro bono were just like, yeah, let me sort this out. Because they get to be on TV now, too. And it looks like everything's fine. Sure. But that's what the local news is for when, like, someone in the community is having a ridiculous problem that only no one can solve. Yeah. All you need is attention. Yeah. It's the only way to solve it.
Well, I'm glad it's getting taken care of, and I'm glad that, look, this little old lady, she really sacrificed herself for others because these lawyers are going to get it all taken care of, and the hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars across the country. Gone.
Now, what I'm thinking about is there's probably so many people who thought they were being like real clever, victimless crime. I put on this fake license plate on my car.
Poor old lady somewhere just suffering.
No, they just assumed like no one's getting the ticket.
Yeah.
When I put on this fake license plate and I drive 100 miles an hour or drive through a red light, the DMV is going to look at it and be like, oh, this person doesn't exist. I guess they got away with it.
Yeah.
And then all these people, hundreds, thousands of people across the country, slowly finding out that they've actually been torturing an old lady. Just tormenting her with endless tickets to her mailbox.
And the funniest part is that they're all, you would assume, collectively in the same fandom.
Yeah. You know, in the spirit of Star Trek, I decided to put a fake license plate on my car to break traffic laws.
Yeah. To inadvertently abuse a real Star Trek head who went and did the full fucking vanity plate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what Captain Kirk would have wanted.
That's right. Squirrels caught hunting and eating meat for the first time. Cannibal squirrels?
They're not cannibals. They're eating voles. Totally different animal.
Cannibal squirrels, Elliot.
It's
not long before they turn on themselves.
They're eating an even cuter animal than themselves. So, but I mean, maybe they'll work their way up.
Yeah. Now that they've had a taste for flesh, what will stop them?
It's got to be pretty good. If you spend your whole life eating nuts.
You're like, damn, what the hell is this?
You get a taste of the red meat. You're like, holy shit. What have I been missing out on?
Yeah.
But you do have to eat it in one sitting. You can't go and bury it. Gonna have a bad time when you come back for it.
Yep. Well, that's just gonna leave us with a whole bunch of super squirrels who survived that.
Protein squirrels.
Yeah.
They've never had this much protein in their
gonna
life.
be so fucking jacked.
Yeah. They're gonna look at those kangaroos.
Yeah. And they do have abnormally sized balls. So when they stand up like that, their balls do hang.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's how you know you're dealing with an alpha.
When the balls hang. That's why people put truck nuts on their trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unexpected toilet visitor. Tiger sticks head through hole in bathroom wall. It's one of those situations where you're probably kind of glad you're sitting on the toilet because
Shake yourself.
you would, yeah, if a tiger stuck its head through a wall like 10 feet away from me, I would shit myself. They're gigantic. They're the scariest animal.
Yeah.
You see them in real life, like, you see them in movies and stuff, like, how big could that be? Obviously, it's bigger than a house cat, bigger than a dog.
They're massive.
They're gigantic. They're like
and 100%
as tall as
muscle.
a person. Yeah.
Like a gorilla. Just 100%
Take
muscle.
your fucking head clean off with one swipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy in India was just like taking a dump. And the bathroom, I guess, had an open window. And just this tiger sticks his head out. And he's just like, well, I'm going to die. I might as well record this.
Yeah.
And it's very funny because the tiger's just like,
what's going on here?
Yeah, hey, what's this?
Yeah. Well, when you're the alpha, just like that squirrel.
Yeah. Oh, he's got his nuts out. All right.
Yeah.
I don't want any trouble.
Hey, carry on.
Yeah. You know what?
I'll wait for you out here. Yeah. Liquid Death's pit diaper flies off shelves following viral bathroom incident at SF concert. What is the viral bathroom incident, Elliot?
This is two stories that I don't think are actually related. But the viral bathroom incident was a Sabrina Carpenter concert in San Francisco where some woman just pissed right in the middle of the dance floor. Just everywhere.
Okay. A little too much espresso before the concert, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Probably a lot of espresso.
That's right. But now people are wanting the pit diaper?
No, the pit diaper sold out very quickly. We don't know how many they made, but however many they made, people wanted it. Probably as a goof. Probably not to actually wear it to shows. But who knows? Who knows? There's just not a lot of crossover between the pit diaper aesthetic and Sabrina Carpenter.
It wasn't even a year or two ago when that kid took a shit in the middle of the mosh pit. So I don't know if people actually want that pit diaper. They like pooping in the pit. Yeah,
that's how you assert dominance. That's how you show them you're an alpha.
That's right. Yeah. Let those nuts hang. Let that poop drop.
I don't want anything to do with you, sir. You can do whatever you want.
Poop VIP, very important pooper.
Anyway, that's 2024.
That's it for the year. Yeah. All you can do for us now is the respect you deserve by hitting that like button. Click the like button. Do it.
Do it.
Also, you know, it's
keep the conversation going for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
Down there.
Keep the video active. Again, we ask this anytime. We didn't really take any time this year, which we probably should have, but anytime we do take time off, please come searching for our videos again the first week of January.
Yeah.
YouTube really likes you to stay active, so when you take any time off, everyone's algorithms get fucking messed up.
Ring the bell. Set the bell to turn the alarm on.
We really appreciate all of you watching this during this insane fucking year, which is only going to get crazier next year. We really appreciate it. Like the video. Come back and find us in a couple of days after our break. We'll be here for you. Leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you really enjoyed this year, please click the join button. It's $5 a month. You get to support the channel. You can click the thank button as well. That's a one-time donation. You don't have to do that. Just click the like button, and we will be back next year. See you next year, folks.
See you next year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This TikToker just filmed himself poisoning food at Walmart as a prank, and this might be the dumbest thing that he's done. There is no way. I hope that's water. Well, now I'm hopping in a few hours later. It was not water. He admitted that it was poison, but we'll get into that later on. What a great way to end up in prison or get sued by Walmart. My two main questions here are, why would you ever do that? And then I guess the follow-up to that question is, why would you ever film yourself doing that? The only thing that's funny that will come from this video is his reaction to the repercussions he gets from it. But sadly, we've been covering this guy for a while, and I immediately started searching around the Phoenix local news stations, and sure enough, We found some more details on this. So, according to ABC 15, the Mesa Police Department is investigating after a video was posted online showing a man spraying open foods with bug spray at a Walmart store. So this happened in Mesa, Arizona, which is a suburb outside of Phoenix. ABC 15 was made aware of the social media video Friday morning. It shows a man holding a can of Hot Shot bug spray as he appears to spray on a variety of foods at a grocery store, including fresh produce and prepared chicken. The video appears to have since been deleted, but it's making rounds on other websites. Tempe police officials initially said that yes, we are very much aware of this individual and that the incident was under investigation. Their investigative materials have since been turned over to Mesa Police to investigate, as the video appears to have been filmed at a Mesa store located at Stackley and Baseline Roads. Mesa Police say they're actively investigating the store in question and has taken a proactive approach to ensure the safety of their customers. Police say any produce that may have been affected has been removed from public access areas. Dude, they must have thrown out so much inventory because of him. It's good that they took immediate action here, and it's about time because this guy is a net negative for society. All he does is harass, tamper, and assault people for his content. Content. You can barely call it that. Right. I mean, for all we know, he might have ruined this guy's own set of clothes. When I had to use a laundromat back in 2017, when the YouTube ad boycott was going on, I couldn't afford a place that had an in-unit laundry. I wouldn't have to wear all my clothes until everything was dirty. Then I went to the laundromat with everything because I wanted to be there as little as possible. So that's what I'm saying. It could be a possibility that that was all this guy's clothes. So the guy now has to discover this, remove all the nasty raw food he put in there, and then pay to rewash his clothes all again and wait infinitely longer. Petition to just put this man under a jail. But hey, I mean, what's so great about this guy is just like so many others, he's so hungry for attention on the internet that he builds up a phenomenal case against himself. He is his own best witness. Because this guy can actually face some serious time for his Walmart stuff, and we'll get into that shortly. But have you ever wanted to beta test new games or get paid to play new games? Well, that's what he can do with today's sponsor, FreeCash. Essentially, FreeCash is a platform that gets paid by mobile gaming companies to refer new users and get feedback, as many of these early users end up enjoying these games. So FreeCash in return splits the revenue with their users, so it's a win-win. All you have to do is scan this QR code or click the link down in the description down below, sign up by dropping your email and creating a password. Then you can start browsing through the game options and see how much they pay. This isn't really a get-rich-quick thing, but it's simply something you can make an extra $20 to $50 with here and there by playing new games. As the average time until a user makes their first cash out is 17 minutes, and the average money earned by users yesterday was just shy of $40. And users have earned over $50 million in total using FreeCash. And once you're finished playing, you can cash out your points for either PayPal gift cards, Bitcoin, or a bunch of other payment options. So if you want to earn some extra cash this holiday season, also support the channel, you can scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description down below and check out FreeCash today. But without further ado, let's continue the video. But it's safe to say the guy that we're talking about today is one of the worst examples of creators that has built their careers off of harassing innocent fast food workers and assaulting innocent people minding their own business. His content easily falls into the crash out niche, which I guess the likes of Johnny Somali and many others have kind of put into the mainstream light. And his main claim to fame is dumping a bag of ice into a fryer at a fast food chain.
Let's talk about the bag, girl. Hey!
If you don't know what happens when you do that, here's an example of someone doing it with way less ice. TLDR, it floods the kitchen with grease. They have to shut everything down. And what a nightmare. He just harasses minimum wage workers with his TikTok videos. And from what I can tell, he does have a past of being arrested. And this will really hurt him, especially when it comes to the Walmart situation, as what he did is, from what I can understand, a class 6 felony. And a class 6 felony has a pretty wide range of what can happen to you, but because it seems like he has multiple priors, he's looking at a prison sentence of 2.25 years to 5.75 years in Arizona. So I hope he has fun with that. What a terrible state to choose to commit felonies in. And I think this might have caused a chain reaction for him where he suddenly just gets charged for a bunch of his past TikToks. For example, like false imprisonment and disrupting a business practice, which happens here. Right.
You move this bunny cord? No. You guys are locked in there. Forever.
I hope he let him out instantly. And he also did the same thing here, but with a bike lock. Here it seems like the bike lock, or well, because, when you open the door, the bike lock will probably extend enough to let people out. But still, like, dude, it's still obstruction of business, no matter what. And then you have the property damage and, I guess, obstructing a business here. Then you have attempted battery with a cake.
Somebody's birthday today. Who's gonna get a cake?
Yeah, getting hit with a cake from that high up will definitely hurt. This was probably the most shocking one I found, though, where he threw a deceased pigeon into a McDonald's fryer. Very surprised he hasn't been sued for this.
Fried pigeon?
So he hit the employee and the fryer with that. Man, I would hate to be his defense attorney. But on the other hand, they are employing these lawyers, so a little bit of both there. But either way, this dude's life is essentially a crash out simulator. He is trying to make his life as hard as possible for himself, just for a little bit of social media attention. Then we have another one of him just obstructing a business. It's incredible, actually, how many of these there are. Here's in Glendale, Arizona.
There's a fire in your bathroom. There's a fire in your bathroom. Wait, there's a fire in the bathroom? Yeah. Fire in the bathroom? Yeah.
It's just for a little bit of social media attention. Then we have another one of them just obstructing a business. It's incredible, actually, how many of these there are. Here's in Glendale, Arizona.
There's a fire in your bathroom. Oh yeah, you forgot. There's a fire in your bathroom. Wait, there's a fire in the bathroom? Yeah.
Bro's hilarious. What a waste of time. This guy has clearly been harassing the greater Phoenix area for long enough that even the Tempe Reddit is asking why he hasn't been arrested yet. So it's safe to say a lot of the locals are reporting his actions. So it'll be really interesting to see what will happen from this. Because now we actually know the police are finally investigating, and clearly they have been aware of him. Maybe something happens in the future, and if so, that'll definitely be an interesting trial to follow. Well, I'm here a few hours later, and something did indeed happen, as he was arrested by Mesa police. And not only was he arrested, but he also turned himself in and admitted that he sprayed poison on the food. So it definitely was not water. At this point, dude, he's just a danger to society. Just please put him in prison. This is unacceptable. We do not deserve to live in a society with someone who's just willingly poisoning food for his own TikTok content. But here, according to AZ Central, we have the title saying Mesa police arrest man seen in TikTok video spraying bug spray on food at Walmart. Mesa police arrested 27-year-old Charles Smith for allegedly spraying pesticides on produce at a Mesa Walmart and filming it for a reckless social media post. Smith went into the Walmart located on Sapley and Baseline Roads Thursday evening planning to film pranks. A video showed the man spraying bug spray on yams, lemons, chicken, and other produce was uploaded to Instagram and TikTok by the known user Wolfie Coletti. The original video is since been deleted, but reposts are circulating online. Through investigative means, with the assistance of the Tempe Police Department, detectives were able to identify Smith as the suspect. Mesa police contacted Smith and turned himself in voluntarily. During the interview, Smith admitted to the theft and spraying of the pesticide. Smith was booked into jail on charges of introducing poison, criminal damage, endangerment, and theft. Both Walmart Media Relations and Mesa Police confirmed that the store's management was informed, the contaminated produce was removed, and the affected area are being cleaned and sanitized. Coletti, a user who originally posted the video showing himself dispensing bug spray, later uploaded 2 videos to his relatives' social media accounts with the captions, "Fooled you, threw them away, and I promise I threw them away." No. The videos then show him taking large quantities of the produce from the shelves, loading it into a shopping cart, and pushing the cart to an unspecified location within the Walmart. All right, here's a screenshot of it as well. Now, this is some weirdo behavior. Even if he removes it, like, still, I mean, that spray landed on the buckets beside the bucket he removed right there. Coletti told the Republic all the produce was thrown away right after and that no one was poisoned. This claim has not been confirmed by authorities. Well, it seems like this dude flew way too close to the sun, all for some internet attention. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of penalties he gets from this, because this story will really set an example for future TikTokers and prank streamers who act like this for attention on the internet. If he gets a harsh sentence, that sends a clear message. If he gets a very light sentence, that also sends a very clear message that sadly we're welcoming this behavior. So hopefully that's not the case. Thanks again to our sponsor Free Cash, and check them out in the link in the description down below. Go and make some extra cash testing on video games. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Somebody stitch me up!
Guys, it's so cute, so endearing. My sweet girl.
While others, including myself, suspect that Jeffrey was using Eugenia for views and clout, given the fact that Eugenia is unfortunately very, very ill. And so it's hard not to write off the theory that this might be another sick and twisted way of garnering good public perception. Like, oh, look at the angel who flew in and saved her. And I hate to be that negative, but I truly hope that Eugenia can recover away from the clutches of Jeffrey. Whether or not Jeffrey actually cares about this girl, or anyone for that matter, is really up for interpretation. Like Jeffrey time and time again, has zero empathy for anyone, but then here's this clip where he's crying over her declining health.
Too much empathy. It just hurts. It really, really hurts. I just want her to smile. I don't want her to smile. I just want her happy. So there's just so much more about this beautiful angel that you guys know.
Not sure how sincere this is, but either way, Eugenia ended up eventually going home. But other than those interactions, the only other TikTok scandal that I'm aware of is that he's been accused of snorting coke on one of his live streams. He literally does one giant snort and then goes, allergies, guys. Which is perfect for someone who's sober.
I've never done meth, crack. I've never done any hardcore drugs.
Like, goddamn, dude, stoners in high school are able to be more low-key than you. But when he received backlash for this, his explanation was that he had a Coke bag sticker on the back of his phone.
So people thought that I was doing drugs yesterday. You guys, look, this is a phone case and it's a gag. It's a joke. You guys all know I love weed. I don't do drugs. This is not real. It's a sticker. Now go fuck yourself.
Which is really interesting because nobody accused him of having a bag. It's like he forgot he snorted it off camera.
We didn't even see that sticker. You know that you're not explaining anything.
And the worst part, you know what pisses me off, is that I feel like somehow he thinks this is all cool. Like, no, dude, you're 40 years old. Stop the madness. But as of today, one of the last videos that Jeffrey posted on his YouTube channel was the 15th anniversary re-release of his shitty-ass album, Beauty Killer, along with a new palette, which no one asked for. And while he's talking about how proud he is of this album, this motherfucker literally had the audacity to show a B-roll clip of him performing with blood on the dance floor.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
But Jeffrey's most recent and embarrassing endeavor outside of his channel was an appearance on Tana Mojo's Cancelled podcast.
What did I do wrong? They just thought I was a shitty person?
I'll never know.
Which aired just a couple of days before the release of episode 3. Now, there is some tea, if you could even call it that, pertaining to James Charles on this podcast. And when the subject of Dramageddon 2 gets brought up, Jeffrey literally calls Tati a and the darkest person he's ever met.
For her stupid ass, Tati, you dumb cunt. Let me say one thing for you before you die, you fucking old witch.
Wow. Weirdly enough, though, he actually defends Tati in some other regards. Like, for instance, when Tana and Brooke bring up that Tati's video was stupid because she did it all for the sake of vitamins, Jeffrey chimes in, actually supporting her, saying he was actually super messed up for promoting Sugar Bear hair instead of Halo Beauty. And he also says one of my favorite dumb lines that I've ever heard anyone ever say.
But the gummies was about loyalty.
The gummies was loyalty. Like, who gives a shit? Also, Tana and Brooke do such a horrible job interviewing him or talking to him at all because they do a complete 180 on their opinion as soon as he says this, simply blowing over in the wind like the Three-Leaf Pig straw house.
It was just like we all...
Yeah.
She's gonna come out with the beauty line. I'm gonna be the...
They have zero integrity. But Jeffrey goes on to reiterate just how much he hates James, explaining that during that time, the fame and the money had all gone to James's head, and he felt entitled to sleep with whoever he wanted to.
And he really thought, I have money, you're gonna sleep with him. Very disgusting. Doesn't matter who you were, you want him.
And now, okay, I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times. James Charles is not real. See an unhinged James Charles deep dive for further details. But Jeffrey is not the person to talk. You can't even handle being rejected at all. So much so that you're willing to disregard their consent, allegedly. Anyways, though, he very much has that same Shane Dawson energy of like the humble pie the size of the Empire State Building.
Height of James's new fame, new money, going batshit crazy and not knowing how to handle it all, and it turns him into a monster.
But then, okay, and this is very interesting. Jeffrey does that fun little ism of his where he just completely rewrites history. Truth, stuff that there's documented evidence of, nope, didn't happen.
Especially because he did me very wrong and made up a whole drama. He did me really wrong. He made up all these lies for like that Tinder and called all these things. It never happened.
Okay, so he says that James's behavior during the infamous cock and balls dinner was disgusting because he pressured Sam the waiter to sleep with him.
And there was a 19-year-old waiter who he tricked into his room later that night. And the guy said he wanted to leave. And James was like, I paid for this. You have to hook up with me. I bought the food.
Which makes no sense because, as we've discussed, Sam himself debunked that allegation. And they didn't even sleep together. James literally just kissed him very poorly in a hotel room and then he left.
We ended up making out for around an hour, and if I'm being honest, he's the worst kisser I've ever kissed. Way too much tongue.
And if you're not like me and you don't have Jeffrey's entire biography imprinted into your mind, you probably wouldn't remember that. So most people watching would likely take that information at face value, which does nothing to actually help the underage victims of James. In fact, if anything, spreading this information is making it worse. After all, James being able to just debunk everything except one thing is what allowed him to get away with it all in the first place. But the cherry on top of this powerful fart of a podcast is when Jeffrey says this.
I'm not a bad person. I didn't try to take down James Charles.
I can't, though. I can't. I literally can't. Anyways, there's just much more that I can say about this podcast. Other than at one point, Jeffrey says that he's mad at Shane for leaving YouTube. Like he thinks he's a coward or something.
I am upset that Shane disappeared for over a year. I don't know.
Which, stop right there, okay? I'm not even gonna say anything, okay? But what is honestly the grossest is that, you expect bad things from Jeffree Star, okay? All the bad things. But when it comes to Tana and Vic, okay, very questionable, morally gray individuals, all right? I would never suspect that they would have a on their podcast and gas them up.
Having you as a guest is so iconic.
I really love this one.
Oh, that is a new low. Seriously, beyond low. But the fuck of it all, though, is that they weren't even the only people who welcomed Jeffrey onto their podcast, okay? Because in a shocking turn of events, on November 1st, Jeffrey would upload a TikTok with the very last person whom he would suspect. Fucking Trisha Paytas.
You want to go to Taco Bell? I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you're so stupid.
And apparently, as of right now, like as I am recording this video, it has been confirmed that she invited him onto the Just Trish podcast. Why the hell she would do that, considering their past, is just the most confusing thing in the world to me. Like, not only did he bully her to the furthest extent, he also allowed his friend to stalk her and threaten physical violence. Whoa. We hate him. We hate him in this house. To the fact that she has done no research on what has happened with Jeffrey since the last time they interacted. Because having an alleged rapist, groomer, assaulter, and present-day racist person onto your show is just beyond a bad look, okay, for lack of better words. It's an understatement. Especially since she condemned people like Codico and Colleen Ballinger. It's insanely hypocritical. Tana, too. And it's not that Trisha has never been a bad person before or been hypocritical before. But again, like with Tana, this feels like a new low. Especially since she just got into the public semi-good graces. But anyways, although it was confirmed that they recorded, it's now highly speculated that that episode will never air. Because it's been like a full month and she's gone radio silent on it. Why? We don't know yet. Maybe it has something to do with her realizing she's platform in her past, or maybe it has nothing to do with it. I don't know. I guess only time will tell. But one thing that is sure to me is that none of this was a coincidence. Everything that we've talked about through the entirety of this series can all be traced back to one word: deflection. And this is happening because Jeffrey is either A, lying to himself, B, has no conscience, or C, wakes up every day horrified with a monster that's in his reflection. Which one of those is actually the truth, I don't think we'll ever know. But either way, there are various forms of it that coincide with each other more than I initially thought. For example, let's talk about lying about alcohol. All the way back in J-Star Part 1, Kat Von D called him out for stealing a logo from her friend BJ, not paying him, and then ultimately ghosting him. And in response to this, he made a video not just calling her a liar, but also throwing some incredibly low blows, like bringing up her past substance abuse. Uses that part of her history to put himself on a pedestal, saying that he doesn't even drink. He's never even taken a sip of alcohol.
As I've mentioned in reviews, I've never drank alcohol before.
So why listen to her? She's jealous, she's bitter, and how dare she accuse me of acting crazy? I'm not the one with that dark past. I only smoke weed.
I smoke weed every day. It's legal. I love marijuana. I've never done coke, meth, crack. I've never done any hardcore drugs.
And how anyone felt that those were valid things to bring up is a testament to just how good he is at talking. But this alcohol lie extends its branches into the Shane X Jeffrey series, which, as you know, was a big part of what demonized him despite his past on the internet. So of course he's gonna bring it up to Shane.
I'm into drugs, I'm into alcohol. I've never heard of it.
Of course he wants to sever expectations. And the lie also trickles down into way more serious subjects, like his involvement with blood on the dance floor. Because of course Jeffrey couldn't have known what was going on. He couldn't have seen anything. He wasn't a partier, which means he was never really even around Dobby.
I don't drink. I am not a partier, so they were very into partying, drinking, alcohol, and my crew was not into that.
Yet another subgenre of this is racism. The way he somehow deflected responsibility onto everyone around him but himself, including the people he was racist to, is truly despicable. For example, in 2017, when Jackie Aina made her anti-hair video where she said she wouldn't be buying Jeffrey's makeup due to his racist past, instead of him respecting that decision, he started barking at her on Twitter about how she hasn't paid her taxes and she's using his name for views. Anything to steal focus from the original thing that Jackie said. Then, in 2018, when Gabriel Zamora famously called him out for being racist, which included claims of literally hearing him say the N-word hard on. And instead of acknowledging this allegation in any meaningful way, Jeffrey encouraged his fans to dig into Gabriel, Manny MUA, and Laura Lee's and Nikita Dragon's past. Jeffrey even partook in the dogpiling, posting racist tweets written by Manny's brother, and then quickly deleting them as soon as he knew people had already taken screenshots. And then, in the middle of Gabriel, Manny MUA, and Laura Lee's apology videos, he posted revealing the last of my dark secrets, which again would divert attention away from him potentially saying the N-word. Like, in my mind, knowing what I know about Jeffrey now, it is incredibly odd that on the same day of Laura Lee's infamous apology video, he shared something deeply personal that would cause people to empathize with him. With all this context in mind, was the perfect storm. Because at the time, he was using Shane Dawson, a huge, popular creator that also has a racist past, to redeem himself. He just seems so cool, so nice, so funny, so empathetic in this series. How could anyone take Gabriel's claims seriously when they had already made up their mind about him?
And you don't do it anymore.
Shane said he was sorry. Case closed. And the exact same pattern repeated. Just a few days later, when his former hairdresser, David, leaked alleged text between him and Jeffrey where he calls Jackie Ina a gorilla. And again, as previously alleged, using the N-word hard ER. Even though every single bit of context and the timeline of those texts added up, Jeffrey quickly said that they were fake and spun the blame onto David himself and Laura Lee, accusing her, the actual racist, to have orchestrated this whole thing to distract from their fake apologies. He's literally saying they're doing what he is doing. Like, am I crazy? And then years later, when Tab David spoke up about the Vegas trip, he claimed that Jeffrey literally hired a racist cop and flew him from Florida to LA just for him to be able to say the N-word. And instead of saying, no, my bodyguard's not racist, what does he do? He calls Tab jealous and bitter and lonely.
Craziest, manipulative, insane thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I know you're upset. Your boyfriend left you. He stopped loving you. Your roommate moved out. You attacked Fenty. They didn't respond. And now people are coming for you for supporting me. So you're trying to flip the script, make up a bunch of lies, and make me the devil? It's so boring.
And then there's the anti-Semitism. Tab David also claimed that he heard Jeffrey say the K word in 2020. And oh boy, as we know, he has a long career of being an anti-Semite, running all the way back to his late teens, ranting on LiveJournal about why it's okay to use a swastika, creating lipstick Nazi, and wearing Boy London clothing, which also circles back to Kat Von D. Because wait, why were these two friends for 10 years? Well, they did have some things in common, like trying to profit off of Nazi imagery and calling somebody a Jew in a derogatory way. And oh yeah, Kat Von D had a Nazi boyfriend. We have every reason to believe that what Tab is saying is true, especially when everything he said about Trisha ended up being 100% accurate. And that brings me to his pattern of bullying. And oh man, Jeffrey will bully anyone. But I want to put focus on his particularly horrifying treatment of minors. And there are small incidents that we've discussed. For example, Sierra Emiway about the hair in her skin frost, and Rocky Roadkill about his broken skin frost. But those in the grand scheme of things don't really mean much. However, these situations escalated so quickly, like the time he yelled and cursed at James Charles's little brother. Way more importantly though, I want to bring up Damian Leonhardt and Chris Avery Bennett. And while Jeffrey didn't commit any crimes against Damian, as he loves to point out, he was complicit in the worst way possible, literally mocking them with Davi on Twitter when Damian was, and I'll say it again, 11. But it's so funny, right? It's so funny that Davi, this grown-ass man, has a relationship with an 11-year-old. Oh yeah, ha 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 ha. You done goofed, right? But a cruel tweet like this, coupled with the fact that Damian claims Jeffrey knew about the relationship, that he saw Davi kiss them.
Both he and Jay knew the relationship between you and Davi and actually witnessed in a benevolent way kissing.
Yeah, they witnessed many girls kissing him. I wasn't the only one. Davi was very affectionate.
He got the capture zone and claim it.
He was f***ing a lot of them. Davi took it quite a bit far with quite a few very young fans.
Time to
Jeffrey saw it.
for an adversary.
Means that he, at 24 years old, knew that this tweet was molesting Damian and not only ignored it, but joined in on the bullying that led Damian Leonhardt to go to a mental institution on their 12th birthday. And then, come to find out from the Business Insider article, Jeffrey had not only sent a nude to Chris Venice, but sent hordes of his fans to bully her into an institution as well at the age of 15. Like, it truly all adds up. Now, if we take a look at this other pattern of him threatening to ruin people's lives and their careers, you can fully understand why a lot of people Jeffrey hurt in various ways wouldn't want to come forward about him. For example, let's look at Nikki Tutorials. Sure, maybe I was just reading into it with that situation, but Jeffrey literally getting on Snapchat and posting a story saying the reason why Nikki won't explain why they're not friends anymore is because he has dirt on everyone, and they know to keep their mouths shut.
And a lot of people are like, okay, how come she's never said anything about her friendship? Because I have dirt on everyone, and they know to keep their mouths shut.
Only to find out he then deleted that very ominous story, and what do you know? Soon enough, Nikki Tutorials was posting a video coming out as trans and saying that it was happening, and then Rose will
share something with you that I've always wanted to share with you one day, but under my own circumstances. And it looks like that chance has been taken away from me. I am transgender.
But a way more obvious example of this is James Charles, of course. And the question for the culture is, did Jeffrey orchestrate my sister as a way of simply taking James out?
I did not make my video because of vitamins. I made it as a result of all of the poisonous lies that were fed to me by Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star.
Honestly, I think so. Recall, we met when Jeffrey was like 30 and James was 16. At that age, he was just a normal-ass kid. But somehow, some way, Jeffrey had already found a way to not like him.
So I remember me and Jeffrey started arguing on Twitter. You had talked about how I introduced myself to you at that night at the Jocelyn event, calling myself the next big thing in the media industry. And I was just like, wait a second. I may be a little bit egotistical, but I would never, ever.
And whether or not Jeffrey someone in his sleep were true or not, he had still sprinkled in a ton of lies there. Maybe he leapt at the chance to capture zone going through a new spot. Maybe he thought one allegation alone wouldn't be enough to end his career. I mean, it sure as hell didn't end Jeffrey's. Jeffrey was willing to destroy James Charles when it benefited him, and then he was willing to kiss his ass once more when it benefited him. And similarly with Dobby Vanity, he befriended him when he believed that it would benefit him, but then took his chance to bring him down after he allegedly heard Dobby about him.
Now, the night before Jeffrey posted that tweet, I went on stage and I said some stupid shit about Jeffrey. He was really upset about that. Of course, everyone knows when you piss off Jeffree Star, he gets pretty vile. He gets pretty angry, and he'll tweet some fucked up shit, and he'll try to get his fan base riled up and just go and attack people.
Meaning that he was willing to hide but not his unwavering loyalty. Once Dobby made whichever way that might have been, he went right back to being complicit and protecting him. But why, you ask? Well, consider what that work tour manager had to say about him. He claimed that he was grabbing people that were sexually done inappropriately. And with his alleged track record of having date clubs and threatening people, would it be that they kept back on your skills and break out of this death spiral. Despite them both doing bad things, Jeffrey would always have the upper hand. That's just my speculation, though. You can think what you will of it. In conclusion of this all, it is the idea of Jeffree Star that everyone likes. The idea that you want to believe. The person that's inspiring, came from nothing but rose above it all. Someone that's a beacon of creativity and self-expression. But it's just that. It's an idea. It's a facade. Because the real Jeffrey lies, manipulates, and the real Jeffrey uses people and rewrites history as if it never happened. He's a boy that is so egotistical, manipulative, and predatory in nature that I think even if he watched this video, he would still find some kind of crazy insults and excuses to weasel himself out of it when I've laid everything out. Seriously, this video is like 3 hours. Jeffrey hates himself and he hates the world, and he's never ever gonna change. So my question is, why is this happening? Why is he on YouTube? Why is he starting new businesses? Why does he make $50,000 a day on TikTok, okay? But no matter what, I do promise this to you. Someday, every single person will stop believing in that facade. You will have no one left, no matter how much clout or how much money you have. You hurt people, Jeffrey. You hurt them. Why don't you care?
Time to hunt.
Ashley Trevino, aka the inmate Hopper, is a 35-year-old woman from Texas. The mother of two has gained infamy as well as popularity on TikTok for her beefs against other users, as well as her many relationships with currently incarcerated men, claiming to have dated over 30 convicts in the past 5 years. All of this started around the time of Ashley's first divorce. After breaking things off with the father of her children, Ashley would do two things. One, start her very own TikTok account, and two, seek out currently incarcerated men to have romantic relationships with. And this combination would lead her to getting a lot of attention on TikTok, and it was when she started dating an inmate named Jesse that a lot more eyes were put on the situation. Eventually, Jesse was released from prison, and their time together would be very short, with him leaving Ashley less than 2 weeks after. All of this made her pretty angry, and she would use TikTok to vent her frustrations, making a number of posts in an attempt to get Jesse's attention, like this one where she claims that she will expose him to the entire internet.
It's time to let everybody know who he really is, because at the end of the day, I'm tired of getting bashed. My family's getting bashed. My kids are getting bashed, all because he caused this. He caused this, and I'm tired of it. So, I don't care, Jesse. Say what you gotta say, baby. Ain't nobody scared of you, because if you were gonna pull up, you would have already pulled up, baby. So don't even play with your little shelter living butt. Go get a real job, because you do them day jobs where you get paid by the day. You still haven't even found a real job. But you know what? Like I said, I'm tired of him. He never paid me my money. The money he was supposed to pay me. This is another reason why I'm doing this, because he never paid me that money, and he never paid for that hotel room that he promised he would pay for. Right. So, if he can be a man of his word, then I'll stop. But if he can't message me and tell me anything, then I'm gonna keep going.
After failing to get Jesse's attention this way, Ashley would go on to claim that she was pregnant, but also claims to have lost the baby. Ashley never provided any evidence of this pregnancy and was allegedly continuing on as usual, smoking and drinking. It was around this time that Ashley also noticed that these actions benefited her TikTok page. During the Jesse saga, she had accumulated over 30,000 new followers and has alluded numerous times that there might be financial reasons to why she chooses men like this. The truth was, a lot more people were paying attention to Ashley after this relationship than before. This was when she got her nickname, the Inmate Hopper, and became infamous on TikTok for having these relationships. People were curious about Ashley's motivations, leading her to be invited to a great number of TikTok live streams where she would either beef with other creators or answer questions during an interview. Both of these are relevant, but I believe there is no better place to start than a certain interview. People who have seen my previous video on another TikToker named D. Kane will recognize a man named Pancheeto. Pancheeto is a TikToker and YouTube content creator who has interviewed a great number of controversial figures on the platform, and this would lead him to an interview with Ashley, which started out pretty calm, but as more people began to join and criticize her, it quickly descended into chaos.
I guess it's because I date inmates, and my ex-boyfriend that came home is an inmate or an ex-inmate. I just rather be with somebody incarcerated than in the free world. Guys in the free world only want one thing, and in prison you can actually build that bond with them. You can literally like get to know them for who they are, and then but I made the mistake in bringing my ex-boyfriend home with me, and it just ruined my life.
Quickly after the start of the interview, Panchito brings in a man named Fonzie. Fonzie is a fellow TikTok user and former friend of Ashley's, who she accuses of hacking into her account and trying to get it banned.
What'd you tell that hyena? Your account got what?
Hacked.
Hacked. But why are you saying that you said that right now that I had your account. So why'd you say it was hacked? I thought I had your account. So
It was hacked. I was on live, Fonzie. I was on my other account live. You didn't ask me to get in my account.
So how did you get hacked if I had your password?
You hacked it. You hacked into it. I mean, you got into it, Fonzie. You didn't ask me.
You said you got hacked.
You went into it without my permission.
So you giving me the password and the information of...
But you always text me. You always text me.
No, I didn't. Show me where I asked you. Show me where
No.
Let me go.
You always asked me. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Bananas. But did I really get you bananas? That's the real question.
Did you? You said it.
Nah, bro. Why would I do that?
Did you? You're smiling, Fonzie.
Listen, how many accounts did I have of you? Be honest. Two. Why would I get one and not both of them when I have 4 devices, bro?
I got a question, Ash. How many people did you give your account, like your password and all that?
Only Fonzie.
No.
Yes.
No. Why? Okay.
Jesse never knew my info.
So only me. I had everything, right?
Only you knew my account. Yes, I put that on everything. Only you knew my account.
Okay, so then we're kind of going in circles. So then, what's this whole thing about $400 or something like that you owe Fonzie? Let's talk about that.
I don't owe Fonzie $400. When he used my account to a battle, it was only $80. I keep receipts for a reason, Fonzie. I keep receipts for a reason because of people like you. You want to put everybody else on blast, but when it comes to Fonzie, you want people to think you're the one telling the truth, and you're not.
I feel like there's a lot of tension for you guys just to be friends. Ash, did you and Fonzie ever have anything other than friendships going on?
No.
You sure no going on?
No, we've never met.
Okay.
Never will. Pachito, don't go that way, my boy.
I'm just trying to figure out if y'all were getting your freaking on.
I had her back though. I had her back as a homegirl.
Yeah.
I feel bad because everybody was throwing heat at her, and I feel bad because
Where Fonzie was on live and he was defending her.
No, it was actually around the time that my kid's dad passed away, Fonzie. And you know that because you even sent your condolences, so don't sit there and try to act like something that you're not.
TikTok the next day.
Fonzie, your text messages contradict a different person who you are on live.
No.
Your text messages.
If you were to pay me my $400, we would have been cool, fool.
It was not no $400, Fonzie, that I took. It was $80, and I even showed my friend. Fonzie, your mouth is nothing but lies, bro. Like, I don't even know how people still support you, to be honest.
And why do people support you when you have adult toys in front of your minor kids?
Do they use them?
They still fucking touch them. What should we call
They
this?
don't touch that shit.
Then why do they say, what should we call this?
Does it matter, Fonzie? Like, to be honest, my kids are not babies.
So why do you have
Don't sit there and try to do nothing. I'm not going to do this interview no more if he keeps talking about my kids.
Let's Fonzie, let's leave kids out of this.
It's not about the kids though, bro.
But you're sitting there talking shit. Fonzie, call me then. Call me one-on-one. Let's talk about this. Let's settle it right now.
You're gonna drink in a pregnancy, right, Panchito?
Fonzie, really, Fonzie? You're contradicting yourself, bro. I stopped drinking when I knew.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. I didn't drink for freaking 3 or 4 weeks, Fonzie.
But even though Ashley had already done a number of extremely controversial things, it would be almost nothing in the face of the story I'm about to tell you, because Ashley's next relationship would be the one that a lot of people still discuss. Ashley began dating a man by the name of Francisco, and Francisco has been convicted of some pretty disturbing crimes. He's serving 15 consecutive life sentences. 2 girls are no longer with us because of this this man. One of the victims was just barely a teenager, and there is DNA evidence to support all of this. Francisco is an absolutely terrible human being. He has been convicted of these things, and Ashley knew about all of this, still deciding to start up a relationship with him, and then going on to defend what he had done on her TikTok page. She would live stream phone calls between the two where they would laugh about what Francisco had done and insult his victims. At first, she was proclaiming that Francisco was innocent, but eventually she dropped that and started saying that his victims deserved it.
That happened to? She was a gang member? Did y'all know that she was already on trial for another homicide? Did y'all know that? Y'all didn't know that, right? She was in a gang. You gotta dive deeper, chat. You gotta dive deeper. Y'all didn't know that. You gotta dive deeper, chat. Please.
Both of these women should be absolutely ashamed of their statements. And even though Ashley was already disliked, her relationship with Francisco would take that to a whole nother level, especially with her blatant disrespect of his victims. All of this is even more troubling when you realize that Ashley is a mother herself, with a daughter not too far off from the age of Francisco's victim. But this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Ashley's relationship with her children. For legal reasons, all of this is alleged, of course, but it's widely known throughout the community that Ashley does not treat her children the best. A prime example of this would be Ashley's single trips to Disneyland. That's right, Ashley Trevino is a Disney adult, posting about how magical the experience within the park was, and deciding to leave all of her children at home while she did this. But that's not all. In fact, far from it. A prime example would be when Ashley was beefing on live stream with another TikToker. Eventually, the police did arrive, and instead of stopping her live stream to go talk to them, she continues to ask for donations while her kids speak to the cops.
Double it. Double it.
Yeah, but how far are we from him?
Go. Kill our adversaries and grab those bounties, initiate.
Heather. Double it.
How old do you think? Was she like in her 30s?
She was in her 30s, I think. I was in like her 30s or 30s.
Double it. Go, guys. Go.
She's gangsta. She's really bad.
And during one live stream, Ashley and her daughter got into a fight so bad that police were called. Ashley claims that her child threw a chair at her, and she threw a glass back at them in self-defense. All of this happened at 1 a.m. and almost resulted in Ashley being taken to jail.
The cop comes back out and he takes the handcuffs off me. And I said, that's exactly what I fucking thought, you dumb piece of cracker. And he's like, I'm this close to taking you in. I said, well, do what you gotta fucking do, bitch. You already had me in handcuffs and you just took them off. Do what you gotta do, bitch. I can literally sue them for putting me in handcuffs for not even the right reason, to be honest. I'm like, he's stupid. This is not the first time she's called the cops on me. This is literally the 4th time. How did the glass break? I threw the glass. I fucking threw the glass. I broke my phone too. My phone's broke right now. They said somebody from New York called the cops. This is not the first time this shit has happened.
Cover them while they get the goods.
2 days ago, me and my daughter got into it. And she didn't stay with me because she threw a chair at me and my leg is bruised. She put her hands on me. And I already had told her, stop putting your fucking hands on me, bro.
On top of all of this, Ashley also puts her children at great risk based on the man that she dates. Her previous relationship with Francisco shows us that she has no reservations against dating men that have committed evil acts. And some of these men have been accused of doing things against children, which Ashley defends. She is one of those people who wholeheartedly believe their partner when they say that they're innocent. A normal thing in most situations, but not when you've been convicted of what these men have. It just shows that Ashley has no qualms with bringing them around her life and therefore her children. And it fits the reoccurring theme of Ashley putting herself before them. She also puts them at risk through the beefs that she engages in online, because people show up to Ashley Ashley's house looking for a fight. She talks so much trash against some people that they fly out to her house wanting to confront her. One of these individuals would be a TikToker named Tampa, who would film herself screaming outside of Ashley's home.
Subbing on this one? Come on now. Running your fucking mouth, bitch. Come the fuck outside. Bring your ass outside. Fuck wrong with you, bitch? You got the right fucking one, hoe. Come outside. Scary asshole. Y'all see this bitch? My man ain't even over here, bitch. My man ain't even nowhere the fuck around, bitch. All that fucking shit talking, bitch. You ain't about it. Fuck around with you, hoe. Don't got nobody to fuck around. Nobody to fuck around, and this bitch is scared. She's not coming outside because she's fucking scared. Ain't nobody around here, bitch. Come the fuck outside.
Ashley would call the cops and have Tampa taken away to jail. And I believe that all of this points out yet another aspect of Ashley's character, that she cannot back up the talk that she makes online. Ashley will often start these beefs over the internet, and when they become real, will flee the situation or call police. For all of the trash talk that she does, there is not a single clip of her actually fighting someone. A prime example of this all bark no bite mentality would be during a live stream with her friend Tia. Ashley was live streaming at Tia's house, and her friend was having some troubles with an ex-boyfriend. So Ashley and Tia began to talk trash on him in their live stream, leading to this guy showing up and attacking her friend.
My ex is here, and he won't get out of my fucking house.
What are you doing? What is your problem, Rob? I was just sleeping.
I don't know what he has on him. I want him out of my house. He's my baby dad, and he won't get out of my house.
No, I know, but they've already set it out.
He's always been.
What are you doing, baby?
In my face. Get out. Get out.
Okay, we'll get a towel.
He's a little Hispanic Mexican. Has little man syndrome. He's got fucking pock marks all over his face.
Get the towel. Where's the towel you had?
Oh, it's upstairs.
Okay, just use that one.
Okay.
Before the cops come. Go upstairs. Go upstairs.
No, she saw what you did try. She tried. She saw it. Don't be him. He's 53.
2, 1. Dominate the zone.
Black,
of course.
black shirt and black pants.
Eyeside's going for zone C.
Yes. No. You don't get back in my house. Robbie, don't! Get out of my house! Get out! Get out! Rob! Get out of my house! Don't touch my Thea.
We're going for zone B.
Okay.
Attacking zone C. Nowhere to hide.
No! What the hell? Come on, Steph. Come on. I'm sorry. I was sleeping. No, I know. Yes. Yeah. Go. Get out. Steph.
Enemy taking zone B. Capture zone contested.
Not only did Ashley broadcast this live to her audience, but she also managed to dox everyone. But this is actually a recurring theme when it comes to Ashley Trevino, revealing just a little too much and getting a bunch of backlash. A prime example would be less than a week ago when she flashed her stream. While flirting with a guy that looked pretty young, she flashed everybody. I don't know why she would do this when she made such a big deal about Fonzie trying to get her account banned, but I also believe that she might have been drunk during it. Either way, it wasn't a good look, and an apology would be issued, but not by Ashley. It came from her daughter, who stated that they had no idea why their mother had done this and were ashamed of her actions, even expressing the desire to be able to turn back time and prevent their mother from doing this. It's very sad when a child has to apologize for their parents' behavior, and I think it speaks volumes as to the level of maturity Ashley is at. Keep in mind that she is 35 years old, and she is pursuing men as young as 19 on TikTok. It is my humble opinion that due to a little bit of TikTok fame, Ashley is trying to relive her youth, or at least believes that it is possible. She thinks that by gaining popularity on TikTok and dating all of these young, bad boys is the solution to all of her problems. But look at all the trouble it's caused already. She has 2 children and no reservations against dating men who have gone to jail for doing terrible things to kids, going on to defend their actions and try to excuse what is completely inexcusable. She's exposing her kids to risk through this, as well as the many beefs that she's instigating on TikTok. Ashley acts very tough from behind the screen, and some people are more than willing to take it from the internet to real life. With her propensity to dox herself as well as others, it makes it easy for them to locate her. And then, of course, constantly embarrassing her children, so much to where they have to make public posts apologizing for her behavior, and then going to Disneyland by herself. All of this and even more has been achieved by Ashley Trevino in one simple year, with things only really popping off just recently, and it seems like absolutely nothing is changing. And if I'm being honest, I think that the worst is yet to come.
Hello there, individual that should probably be spending time with their family right now. Welcome back to another video. Now on my time on social media, I have spoken about a lot of influencers. I've spoken about a lot of insane people. And a phrase that commonly gets brought up into all of these situations is crashing out. Now, crashing out traditionally in most situations is the act to pretty much go insane in a very stressful situation when you just do something which, fuck, you really shouldn't have done that. You get really mad, you get really angry, and you just decide, you know what, I'm gonna crash out. Well, today's content creator that we're going to be speaking about, they're very much guilty of crashing out in pretty much, well, every single situation possible. And there's something beautiful about that clip. But yes, if you haven't already, and I am so sorry to introduce you to this universe, this cinematic world of absolute terribleness, meet LEFTTUBE. Now, Great Britain, United Kingdom, whatever you want to call it, it gets a lot of hate on social media. And you know what? I can kind of understand. My beautiful country, well, I say my beautiful country. I am actually 1% North African, as I discovered recently, and like 4% German. So their country, Great Britain, I can understand why it gets a lot of hate on social media. You know, it's got a bit of a history. There's some things in this country which, you know, you can't really defend. And this individual, well, this is another case of we kind of need to really wonder what is going on in Britain. Because with this TikToker in particular, LEFTTUBE, she's kind of made it so Britain has had to have the great removed from it, because over the last few years, she has built up a rather sinister reputation. But on the broader terms of everything, she is known for things such as faking certain disorders, lying about being autistic, and just multiple other insane things. And I've covered LEFTTUBE multiple times, including a ridiculously long video, which honestly, I need to stop doing this, but it's like an addiction at this point. I just can't stop doing it. But the reason we're here today, speaking once again about LEFTTUBE, is because, like a lot of influencers do, she has put out an apology video. And you know, when an influencer apologizes, it's just gonna be the worst thing you have ever seen. Because influencers, we are not human beings. We haven't discovered empathy yet. We pretty much are like halfway evolving into a human being. You know, one day we'll actually discover how to form a sentence where you can actually say, I'm sorry, and explain why you're sorry, and actually prove why you're sorry. Because yes, LEFTTUBE has joined the collective of influencers that apologize, and it doesn't go down too well. But what's interesting about this apology is the comment section is actually pretty pleasant, despite my grievances with this apology. In fact, when you go through every single comment, It's just nice comment after nice comment after nice comment. And as I said, this is an individual that fakes having Tourette's, fakes being autistic, and multiple other things out there. So in this video, what I want to do is go into investigation mode to truly work out what is going on in this comment section. And with that, we need to go through the original controversies of Alphaba. And don't worry, we're not going to be here for 5 hours. I don't know why I said that in such a condescending way. Basically, my good buddies, we're not going to be here for 5 hours. Instead, we kind of want to go through all of these controversies in a bit of a lightning round. And there is a reason that we're going to go through them. But yes, we need to take a look at the main two controversies first, because it is very, very important to the context of Alphaba's recent apology. So yes, let's get into the first situation of Alphaba lying about being autistic. Yes, it's a beautiful thing that a lot of TikTokers love to do, where they get onto the application, they gain a lot of followers, and for one day they just randomly decide, I have Tourette's, I am autistic. I have this thing which a lot of people out there also have and deal with every single day, but also I don't have a diagnosis. I haven't actually looked into any of these things, and I'm going to completely destroy stereotypes and only damage the name of people who are actually autistic and do have Tourette's. But yes, let's get to the beginning of this autistic story. That sounds like I'm using it as an insult. No, I mean that. I'm not helping myself. This story about autism. With Alphaba, it all starts at Autism's Got Talent show, a talent show which autistic people can join, show off their talents, and as you can see, Alphaba right here was performing as Alphaba from the show Wicked. Because if you're not really up to date with the Alphaba lore, well, from the name alone, you can discover Alphaba is somebody that absolutely loves Wicked, to a point of where it could be considered quite creepy, but I'm not trying to be mean in this video. Currently, at the time of recording, it is Christmas, and I am not up for shaming people for liking movies a bit too much. I'm currently surrounded by a bunch of Sonic plushies. I have no ground to stand on. But yes, Alphaba, she featured in Autism's Got Talent, and there was even an article written about this stating there was not a dry eye in London's Mermaid Theatre on Saturday night as trans performers Jack and Alphaba delivered a moving rendition of For Good from the musical Wicked at this year's Autism's Got Talent. And then there's an outright confirmation here of Alphaba's autism diagnosis, stating Jack and Alphaba are both on the autism spectrum. Jack was diagnosed in 2018 and Alphaba diagnosed in 2021. Now this would be absolutely wonderful and fairly beautiful if Alphaba was not lying about an autism diagnosis, because a lot of leaked things came out, including this leaked message right here of Alphaba confirming that yes, she does not have an autism diagnosis. I own up, and for that, I am sorry. I've been told to lie by other people and to carry it on, which is true, but I chose to do it. I shouldn't self-diagnose, but I've been referred for this and waiting on an answer. It's been 2 years, so I'm just getting fed up of waiting, as I did the test in 2019. Now yes, obviously at face value, this is absolutely terrible. Lying about an autism diagnosis so you can get into an autism talent show. It's a crazy sentence. It is a mental sentence, and only a TikToker could actually get me to spit that sentence out of my mouth. But I have said in the past, I personally believe if you have the symptoms of something and you truly are trying to get a diagnosis, I think it's okay to deal with those symptoms personally by telling yourself that you probably do have that thing that you are having symptoms with. If the symptoms aren't going away and you need to treat them in a way that a doctor currently isn't treating because they will see to you due to, I don't know, your financial situation, due to how the healthcare system is in your country, that's your private business. If you need to deal with your own symptoms in a certain way, I think you are perfectly entitled to do that. Honestly, I think if you disagree with that, you need to have a look at healthcare systems throughout the world. There are multiple countries out there, a lot of countries out there, in fact, probably most countries out there that don't have free healthcare. But also in countries where there are healthcare, like good old Great Britain, there are a lot of waiting lists. There is a lot of underfunding, particularly in this country. We had a conservative government that completely underfunded the NHS for over a decade, and that has led to waiting lists getting longer and longer, and people who are searching diagnoses for certain disorders not able to get their diagnosis. In fact, in the UK right now, there are over 190,000 patients and climbing waiting for an autism diagnosis. So, if we're gonna be fair and nuanced here, I would say if Alphaba truly does believe that she is autistic, but she is basically getting screwed over by the system, I think it's perfectly fine for her to deal with those symptoms in whatever way
Nowhere
that
to
she
hide.
personally deems would help her personally. But I don't believe lying about her autism diagnosis, the Autism's Got Talent with people that do have autism diagnoses, is really the best way to go about this. But it doesn't just end there, because Alphaba has become somebody that is also very known for using this supposed autism diagnosis as a way to get away with a lot of things. For example, Alphaba is very much known as a rude person, somebody that is just nasty to a lot of people, and to defend herself in a lot of situations, it seems that she has used autism as a way to get away with this.
So many people who are diagnosed autistic, they understand me, and that's why I get along with them so well. Because I know there's a few friends, right? They say blood things to me, I say blood things to them back, but we know we're not being rude to each other. Because I'm not being rude.
Now, responding to people calling you rude by saying, oh, I'm autistic, and other people who are autistic understand me, is not really the best route to go down. It just reinforces a lot of negative and false stereotypes about people who are autistic, and this, to me, is pretty despicable, and just shows why Alphaba is facing so much criticism for this, because a lot of people out there saw this as Alphaba just desperately trying to cling to an autism diagnosis as a way to get away with her controversial behavior. And look, being fully serious and not trying to be that one friend who's too woke, but this just makes a lot of people out there who genuinely are autistic, or even people that are looking for autism diagnoses, is that even how you say the word? But the people that are looking for a diagnosis of autism, it isn't helpful to do things like this. And I know it sounds obvious, but sadly, there is a trend on TikTok where people out there fake disorders, they fake things like Tourette's, they fake being autistic, and this does not help, because there are people out there that genuinely do need a diagnosis to cope with this thing they suspect they are or have, and it sucks when you see people like Alphaba using that real struggle to get away with her own controversial actions, because it's just going to cause people out there to stereotype and say,
oh, you think you're autistic? I'm sure you're just faking it for attention like everybody else on social media.
And the sad part is, for a lot of cases, you really can't argue against that, because things like autism, things like Tourette's, and other things such as ADHD are very much romanticized on social media and used as people to be like, oh, I've got my special interest of a show. Oh, I like this television show. I'm autistic. It's like, no, brother, you probably just like that television show. Yes, autistic people out there have special interests and stuff like that, but because you watch 7 seasons of Game of Thrones or 5 seasons of Breaking Bad at once, that doesn't mean you are autistic. It just means you enjoyed the show. So sadly, you now have videos out there like these ones of where people go over influencers or creators or TikTokers faking disorders, faking autism, and it's just really depressing, because all it does is damage people who are autistic or who suspect they may be autistic. It's genuinely a really sad thing, and with the serious nature of all of this, you would suspect that Alphaba will speak about it in her apology. And I'm just gonna leave that for later. But yes, Alphaba on multiple occasions has confirmed that she did indeed lie about being autistic.
And for lying about autism, and I'm known about for singing Defying Gravity. I'm known for having my wig snatched off my head.
Just followed you. Wait, you said you said you've lied about having autism?
Yes, I lied about being diagnosed.
Now, I've always found this clip quite interesting, because it very much seems that she is like bragging about the fact that she's lied about being autistic. But yes, This is something out there a lot of people have spoken about. It's something that Alphabet has addressed, but in my opinion, she hasn't exactly ever addressed it in the correct way where she ever really feels sorry for what she did in this situation. And given the fact that the main part of this video today is us going to go over her apology, I am very interested to see what she has to say about that. But with that, we then need to move into the next controversy of Alphabet, which of course is her faking having Tourette's. Yes, this is once again another thing that Alphabet is known for, and it is once again something that only a TikToker or Eric Cartman, because this is the insane thing about Alphabet. The more you go down the timeline, the more you realize she is basically Eric Cartman of TikTok. But yes, let's get into the fact that Alphabet lied about Tourette's.
Tourette's. I've actually been referred to TalkWorks for something like that. You know, one of my doctors had me for my back. I got referred then because I started ticking in the doctor's office, which was not fun. Accidentally. I'm sorry. I can't. Sorry. I want to pause a lot.
Now, yes, obviously this was a bit of a weird era for Alphabet, and as you can see in our live chat, people were just kind of confused. What's going on here? And why do TikTokers just feel the need to do things like this? But yes, after this, the drama then exploded. People started speaking more and more about the fact that Alphabet was faking Tourette's on a live stream, and then Alphabet eventually went onto another live stream with an expert about Tourette's awareness. It is truly a display of pure and utter genius.
Why are you doing it?
Oh, no, let me say this. So basically, I went to a GP, right? And
I'm not talking about autism, by the way.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely understand. So sometimes I have anxiety, right? So I'm diagnosed with anxiety. And basically, I squeak and jitter uncontrollably sometimes. I've done it off live. My mum has seen it herself. And I asked the doctor, is this Tourette's? And they said they're not 100% sure, so they had to put me in, TalkWorks. It's a service. Let me show you.
Before you carry on, can I just say that no GP would have said they weren't sure about Tourette's, because you have to be 12 months having tics to be called Tourette's. So there's no way any GP will have said to you, we're not sure if that's Tourette's. If they thought you had tics, it would be a different story. But there's no way any GP said to you, yeah, we're not sure if that's Tourette's. It's just not, that's bollocks, mate.
So yeah, basically, Alphabet got outright caught out here. It was just an absolutely insane situation, because you just got to ask yourself, what is the benefit of lying about something like this? What do you truly gain about lying about Tourette's? To me personally, all it could possibly be is just more attention, and that is something that Alphabet does absolutely love. It is her favorite currency, just pure and utter attention. And yeah, just like Alphabet loves to do, after this, she then put out another apology.
It was wrong of me to say I had Tourette's. That was wrong. I'm very sorry for that, because, I tend to say things without thinking, and that is the thing I need to stop. So that's why I've got bullet points in front of me, because this is helping me kind of stay on track. I was never mocking it, though. I would never mock that. I know how hard it is.
What is the one thing that you regret saying the most online?
The one thing I regret the most is, I think I regret about the Tourette's thing, 100%.
Speak about that fully, openly.
Yeah, 100%.
This is a no judgment.
I fully do suffer with anxiety tics. I generally do, so 1,000,000%, and I'm getting that seen too. And I always will be. I say that off live, on live, like even to any of my friends who have seen me. It's not a view thing. It's just a general thing. When I'm actually scared, I do tic.
Okay.
So I said I had Tourette's. uneducatedly. So I remember saying I had Tourette's. I shouldn't have said that at all. I really shouldn't have.
So yes, the more you go down this timeline, the more you just kind of start to feel less bad for Alphaba. Not only has she lied about being autistic and having Tourette's, but she's also spread a lot of negative stereotypes which will only harm people that are autistic and do have Tourette's. What Alphaba did in this situation, I still think to this day, she doesn't truly understand why people are so frustrated with her. And these are probably the two biggest things that Alphaba has been accused of doing. It is probably the thing that she's most known for, hence my video title right here. But with that, we need to address some of the other things Alphaba has been involved in terms of controversy. So yes, there is also multiple situations of where Alphaba has been called out for basically being a massive beg on live stream, where she gets extremely upset at her audience for not donating certain amounts of money to her, and she gets mad at other people for allowing her to lose TikTok live stream battles, which if you actually, you know, have a bit of a life, you would know that what a TikTok live battle is. You have another TikToker and you have Alphaba, and pretty much this is such a weird thing, but if you donate more to the other live streamer, they win the TikTok live battle. It's a very confusing thing, and Alphaba loves to do these things because obviously it gets her a lot of money. But I should just say, if you have money and you are engaging in TikTok live battles, please, for the love of God, just donate the money to me. But then we need to move on to more serious controversies, such as where Alphaba basically tries to hijack an LGBT. That sounds a bit more illegal than it actually is. No crimes were committed there. By hijack, I mean there was an event out there for LGBT+ people, and pretty much Alphaba tried to get involved. She tried to pretty much make it like she was the one running the whole event, and people got very upset with her. And even the event organizer came out, denounced Alphaba. It turned into yet again another big controversy, and Alphaba just looked worse and worse and worse. But then we need to move on to the next situation involving Alphaba and scabies, because pretty much Alphaba was accused of going out in public when she had scabies, and there are multiple videos to indicate this is true. And then we need to move on to the other controversies, such as where she gave hair lice to other content creators whilst knowing that she had hair lice. Yeah, there's also biological warfare in all of this. And just in general, it seems that Alphaba has been pretty much criticized for every single thing that we could possibly be criticized for. She's been accused of so many different things. And just over the last few years, she's pretty much become UK TikTok's biggest lolcow. And for some reason, if you want more details on these god-awful things, please go and watch my 5-hour video after this. We go through basically every single aspect of the Alphaba law, and I don't think I've been the same human being as I was before recording that video. It's all a complete mess. Now you're up to date with things, kind of. Let's actually get into the Alphaba apology. Because yes, as we said at the beginning of this video, obviously Alphaba put out an apology, and that came on the 4th of December 2024. It was a Christmas miracle. Where Alphaba states, I really hope you can understand how sorry I am to anyone I've caused hurt to on my live streams. I need to grow up and understand the hurt I've caused, and the impact is really felt when she shows a little sad face. But yeah, then we move on to the next bit of, I don't want any more parts in people, the drama, I want to just be moved through. And I understand so everyone will forgive this apology, but I meant it with my soul. I want to stop being a complete car crash and focus on me. Hashtag Alphaba Orion Doherty. Hashtag Alphaba. Yes, fellas, don't forget the hashtag Alphaba Orion Doherty. Now, the sad part about this description is somebody's probably clicked, some old bear who's just installed TikTok, you know, she's got her first iPhone, she's like, oh, I want to see my favourite musicals, and she searched hashtag Alphaba, her favourite character, and she stumbled on this. Honestly, if there's anyone out there that Alphaba could apologise to, it is anyone that has paid tickets to see Wicked, because I'm genuinely convinced there are people out there that love the musical, they just want to see some content related to the musical, they get on TikTok and they discover the Alphaba cinematic universe, and their life was completely changed. But yes, actually getting into the apology, as I mentioned earlier, the interesting thing is here, it's extremely positive comment section. You are human, babe. We still love you. First time I've heard you speak sense, to be honest. Nice to see a comment section with full of love. You're young and still young. Now, I would love to go in there and say this apology. You're not going to believe me say that, but I would love to come in there and say this apology was amazing. It was fantastic. It's so good that it's going to get nominated for an Emmy, an Oscar, any other award ceremony award out there. It's getting the nominees for all of it. But no, there's something suspicious going on here. I started to look around, snoop around. Well, I say that. I tried to comment, and the comment didn't go through. I got a little notification though saying that my comment will go through if it's accepted by Alphaba. So what I discovered is that Alphaba is moderating her comment section on the apology video, which is confirmed as you can see right here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to criticizing apologies on the internet. And I do know one thing, is that if you're apologizing for something, regardless of if you're a big, sick, mentally ill internet star like myself or like any other YouTuber out there, you usually, typically, are trying to take accountability when you apologize. And what taking accountability isn't, is apologizing and then choosing who gets to comment on that apology. To me personally, there are multiple reasons for this, but obviously the glaring reason is that Alphaba doesn't want people to know why she's apologizing. Because pretty much throughout all of this apology, Alphaba keeps on saying sorry, she keeps on apologizing, but she doesn't necessarily ever specify on why she's apologizing. So at face value, if you don't know anything about the Alphaba lore, you would think that this is actually a pretty decent apology. But this is why I went through everything. This is why I explored the lore multiple times, just in case someone watching this video right now does not know about the lore. So with that, let's get into this apology, and let's find out what's truly going on here.
Hi guys, I wanted to do a video because I just thought, you know what, let's just do this video, and I think it's best we get into the situation. And I just wanted to start off by saying that I'm just so sorry. I am, like, I really am. I truly mean that. It's an act, nothing. I am, and I realise my actions have consequences, and I realise that some things I do online isn't good. Like, I can't even do to start with. And it's just really my own life. And I realise that. And I see everything, and I'm an absolute train wreck. I'm a joke. I'm an absolute joke. I'm an absolute car crash.
Going to a new spot.
I just want to start off by saying I'm really sorry. I really am. Anyone that's ever hurt, anyone that's ever caused any hurt to, I'm so sorry about it. I really am. I'm so sorry. And I'm going to do my best in the future, and I will do my best to not cause any more hurt to any more people online and in real life. And I started to realise that I've become some of the problems.
Now look, as I said earlier, this apology at face value without the context that we've gone through so far in this video, it started pretty well. Honestly, there's not really much you can fault this apology for at face value. She straight out of the gate says that she is sorry and apologizes for her actions. And that might sound very minimal, but trust me, I have seen so many influencers put out an apology. It could be the longest 2-hour-long apology in the world. They can be sat on that toilet, but they apologize for some insane reason.